there, everybody. Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you are all doing well and taking care of yourselves. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for stopping through. Please check out some of my other content, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and get notified on future content that I put out. And if you are a returning subscriber, you rock. Thank you so much for coming through again for another one of my videos. Now, just the other day, Ashley found herself on, I believe it was Craigslist, it might have been one of the local Facebook groups. Either way, she found a post, and it was for a reptile enclosure, about 20 gallon, that was for sale for $100 with everything included. And at first glance, it just kind of looked like a tank with some lights on top, and like a flat water dish and a little skull. And that looked about it. Maybe a few little random things inside, but like overall pretty empty looking tank. But as she looked closer, she realized that there was actually something living inside of the tank that was not actually mentioned in the post, as it was just said that everything included. And it turned out to be a bearded dragon. So Ashley ended up reaching out to this person, just I guess inquiring about the bearded dragon. Turned out that this was a family, a very young family. They had just had a baby. They had three bearded dragons. They had already given away two, and this is one of the last ones to go. Apparently, this was a pretty aggressive bearded dragon. And so they were looking to rehome it. Like I said, they had freshly had a baby, just didn't have the time for it anymore. And after Ashley kind of let them know that we were reptile fanatics and a little bit about us, and ultimately it wound up being that the person said, if you can come and get this animal right now, that you could have it for free. So we went and drove about 30 minutes to this house, and we ended up picking up this bearded dragon. Now, the bearded dragon definitely was a bit defensive when we were there. It was definitely huffed up immediately, open-mouthed and everything. It was definitely very defensive. The lady had said that she had went to feed it just a couple days before and had just put the food dish down and like jumped and got her finger. And it definitely was jumpy towards us in the window when we first got it. And it was pretty huffy on the way home, all the way to when we got it home, and it is still a bit huffy. But there were definitely some things that needed to be fixed when it came to the enclosure. One thing being the UV light that they originally had with it. They did let us know that they were unaware up until recently that the UV lights needed to be replaced. So that was something that they suggested being replaced, because I don't think they had ever done it, because they didn't know they were supposed to. And so that needs to be replaced. And I have one in the mail coming. It should be here either tomorrow or the next day. So that's going to be replaced. We also ended up, they had the red lights for heating, as well as an under tank heating pad without a thermostat. So we did remove the heating pad because that is actually a really dangerous thing to do. Heating pads and under tank heaters, heat rocks are all things you're not supposed to really use with the bearded dragon, as mostly they get a lot of their heat from the sun, from above, from basking on rocks. And so they don't really need that. So I removed the heating pad that came with it, especially since it didn't actually have a thermostat, and it's really dangerous to use heating pads without a thermostat. But then we also removed the red light that was in there with it as well, because we did end up seeing, getting some information given to us telling us that the red lights are actually really harmful to the eyes of things like bearded dragons. And I know that commonly people, when I was first getting into reptiles, a lot of people use red lights specifically at night, because there was this kind of belief that like the lizards or the snakes couldn't see it, but that's a really big myth. They actually can still see that red light, and it can actually disturb their sleep pattern. So it is suggested not to really use those. And it's just kind of one of those products I don't really know if there's a real purpose for, but it's still in the market. So there they are. But we have removed that. We got a nice hot daylight spotlight, not spotlight, but heat lamp going for him. So he's definitely, or she, I believe, because I did sex her. We weren't 100% sure. At least I think I've sexed her correctly. And she looks like a female to me. But I might still do the flashlight thing just to be sure. But I'm pretty positive she's a female. But they definitely had sexed her, and she was a feisty one. But we've got her in a little bit of better condition. She's still a bit feisty. I have handled her. I have not been bitten by her. She does open her mouth a lot. She does get very huffy, and she's a bit flighty. and so she's going to take some time to learn that humans are safe. They did let me know that she was flighty when they first got her, and then she's just kind of progressively gotten more aggressive. I don't know the reasons behind how that happened. I definitely know that all little ones are flighty, so I'm not sure if it was just like how they handled that flighty behavior that made her grow to being pretty defensive in nature when it comes to the presence of hands or anything coming near her. But we are going to just continue to work with her the best that we can, and get her kind of used to handling. We've been doing a lot of research on how to tame the wild behaviored bearded dragons, and we've got her on a much better diet. Another thing that they were doing also, speaking of diet, they were feeding her solely kale and crickets, which, crickets are okay, but they shouldn't be the sole thing that a bearded dragon is eating. A lot of the reasons for that is because apparently they can carry a lot of parasites, which can pass on to the bearded dragon. So suggested things are things like dubious. So we'll probably switch switch her off from crickets as much. Maybe do a varying diet, because I'm all about providing variety when it comes to things like especially lizards, because they do eat a variety of things when it comes to them in nature. So we want to provide them with a varying diet while they're in our care as well. So we'll be showing different things when it comes to that. But from what I experienced, from what I've heard, is kale is a thing that really should be given in really limited quantities and shouldn't be used as a staple. And so the fact that they were using it as a staple is not necessarily a positive thing. So we're definitely shifting away from kale and got her on a much more varied green diet. As other things like squash, we're going to be providing her with things, more access to squashes and other vegetables and foods and fruits even. Not very many, but definitely giving her some fruits and just varying up that diet a little bit for her. But so far, she's been a very amazing animal to have. She's already kind of warmed up a little bit. She's definitely still a little flighty, but she's very curious. She doesn't charge. I feel like when we first walked into the room at the house, she charged and was just like ready to go the moment she had caught eye contact with anybody. So she's already massively calmed down a lot. We have to figure out something to do. We have her in a glass tank right now. We want to build her up. I would like to get her built like a 4x2x2 enclosure, like a wood or something enclosure with just like the glass front, because right now she's definitely kind of, I don't know, maybe stressed by the presence of her own self. I think she's seeing a lot of her reflection in the glass. Even though we've got 3 of the 4 sides covered, she's definitely doing a lot of glass surfing. So we want to, do something about that when it comes to getting her in her larger enclosure. So if I do build something like a 4x2x2, it definitely is going to be something wood, and that should help with that. But for right now, I definitely think she's just stressed out by her own self, which might very well have a lot to do with her behavior while she was there, because, they did apparently have 2 other bearded dragons, like they said they had, and they were cohabited in another enclosure that was next to her. So maybe just kind of like seeing that and like kind of agitated her in some way or another. Who knows? But maybe like having no other bearded dragons around and just kind of having a more calmer, relaxed state and getting her in a better enclosure will help her with her behavior. But it's just going to take slow going. We're just going to spend a lot of time with her, lots of handling, lots of positive interactions, lots of positive reinforcement, and I am feeling pretty positive that we'll get her down to a really lovely, calm, and relaxed state bearded dragon in no time, like most bearded dragons are. So there you are. She's a very beautiful, stunning animal. I love her markings. I don't know what morph she is. I don't know anything about bearded dragon morphs at all, but I know that she is very stunning. She's absolutely very beautiful. Love her colors, love her markings, and so I'm very happy to have her here. Had just funny. I just turned down a bearded dragon from somebody who reached out to me on Facebook after talking to Ashley about it. And so, I apologize to that person I did turn down. If you are watching this, things happen. Things at the time we were not in a position to say, yes, I can take on a bearded dragon. Things have changed, and we're in a space where we felt like we could do that. So, that wasn't a personal thing. I didn't do that personally for you. If you are watching this, there's nothing personal there. It's just the timing was off. But yeah, so that's all, you guys. I'm welcome home this beautiful animal. We don't know what we're naming it yet. I'm thinking something like Mushu. I did have a bearded dragon a very long time ago, and I had named him Mushu. But now that I've actually discovered that she may very well be a female, Mushu's not really working in my brain as well. So I don't know. If you guys have name suggestions, please put those in the comments. I definitely want to hear them. If you've even made it all the way through the video to hear this part, please put your video, your name suggestions in the comments, and maybe we'll choose from them. Maybe we'll find something else, but help us decide on a really great name for this wonderful new creature that is now a part of Tavian's world of reptiles. So you all take care, love yourselves, love your reptiles, love your loved ones, and you guys keep spreading those herbs.